So welcome back to Stade Pierre de Coubertin for the Yonex French Open. Second round action today. And I can tell you that, in case you didn't know, I'm sure you all did know, that Pierre de Coubertin, founder of the modern Olympic Games. And where would the sport of badminton be now if we weren't part of the Olympics? My goodness, what a wonderful and glorious thing that we are. Well, what a peculiar day it's been so far. We've had two retirements. It all started with the 17-year-old Eun Young of Korea. She was a game down and then was up in the second game. Then Chen Xiaoxin of China had to retire injured. Then we had a marvellous men's singles with Eun Ka-long coming through against the two-time former finalist Cho Tien-chen, who won this title in 2014. As we've just seen, the world number ones, the beaten finalists from a year ago, Gideon and Sukamolyo, despite being 19-9 up in that opening game, only just won it 21-18 before Lee Yong-dae had to retire injured. I know that Lee Yong-dae retired from a domestic event final just before the European leg of the World Tour, so obviously that back still giving him problems. Next up, we've got women's singles, and PUSARLA V, Sindhu, the reigning world champion and Olympic silver medalist, up against YEO Jia Min, who reached the quarter-final of the recent World Championships, having beaten the number one seed Yamaguchi en route to that quarter-final. After that, we'll have women's doubles and the reigning world champions and defending champions here, Matsumoto and Nagahara, up against home interests Lafelle and Tran from France. After that, another women's singles, and my goodness, what a matchup that should be. A battle of the former champions, the former world champions and Olympic medalists. Nozomi Okuhara, the 2017 world champion and Olympic bronze medalist, up against Carolina Marin, the three-time former world champion and Olympic gold medalist, and for good measure, 2015 winner here of the French Open. After that, it will be mixed doubles, and both pairs beaten finalists here at the French Open. Chris and Gabby Adcock, the 2014 beaten finalists, are up against last year's beaten finalists, the two left-handers, So Seung-jae and Che Yu-jung. Then we will finish this afternoon, or we'll probably be in this evening by then. Kento Momota, the world number one and reigning world champion, up against Hans Christian Vitinghus of Denmark. So some really terrific matches coming up, and with women's singles being our next match, a chance for us to look at the women's singles draw. We'll look at the top half of the draw because that's where our match will come from. It is the reigning world champion PUSARLA V Sindhu, as you can see, in the second quarter of that draw, but I can tell you that 6 former finalists and 4 former champions, in fact the former champions from the last 4 years, all in the women's singles draw that started. The former champions, Tai Su-ying, who won the title 2 years ago. She was actually beaten in last year's final as well. She's the number one seed at the top of the draw, as you can see. Carolina Marin, I've already told you that she won the title. That was 4 years ago. The winner from 3 years ago, Hebing Jiao, is in the bottom quarter of the draw, and Yamaguchi, the defending champion, is the number 2 seed right in the bottom of the draw. So the number 1 and 2 seeds have contested the last 2 French Open finals, one winning 1 year, the other winning the next year. So Morten, I mean, it really is a very strong women's singles draw, and it gives us a chance to talk about the World Tour so far. And when you look at the World Tour Super 500 and above tournaments, which was equivalent to the Super Series of old, I can tell you that 7 different players have won the 12 Super 500 and events and above events we've had so far. Tai Su-ying has won 3, Ratchanok Intanon 2, Chen Yu-fei 2, Yamaguchi 2, so that's 9 of the 12 tournaments we've had so far at 500 and above, which is pretty impressive. Yeah. But The question is, where has PB Sindhu been? She has won the World Championships, but since then has really struggled. Since the World Championships, she hasn't progressed past the second round of any tournament she's played.
Yeah, it's quite remarkable. It is, and of course I also noticed it, that she has lost first or second round in all events after the World Championship, and that's quite extraordinary. But I'm sure she will be back on track soon. But it's not been looking good lately.
No, she's had some time out to celebrate, and she's gone around the country and everybody's been congratulating her and so on. And you have to have time to enjoy these big moments. But looking ahead to the HSBC BWF World Tour finals in Guangzhou at the end of the year, of course, PUSARLA Sindhu will get an invitation
whatever.
As the reigning world champion.
Yes.
But when we look at the top 10 list of those race to Guangzhou standings, the top 7 on the top 10 list have all contested an HSBC BWF World Tour final this year. But the top 5 have contested an incredible 22 World Tour tournament finals this year between them. So the top 5, Chen Yufei, who sadly can't play this week,
that's for sure.
No, because she had a very nasty left ankle injury last week. Ratchanok Intanon, 5 finals. Tai Su-ying, 5 finals. Nozomi Okuhara, 4 finals. And Akane Yamaguchi, 4 finals. So those top 5, in all honesty, have really been dominating this year at the elite level of tournaments.
Yeah, I totally agree, but we're still missing one. And that's Carolina Marin. I think we're missing her in this equation. I know that she hasn't played due to her very bad injury, knee injury she sustained in January this year. And of course, she's not featuring in the statistics for this year that much. But coming back and winning the China Open Super 1000 tournament was just phenomenal.
Absolutely extraordinary. I did notice she was entered into the Dutch Open, which is a 100 event.
Yes.
She pulled out of that to concentrate on Denmark. She then went through to the semi-final stage in Denmark. Of course, we're going to see her a little later on in that terrific lineup against Nozomi Okuhara. But when they have both been in the same tournament since she has returned from her knee surgery, they've played 3 tournaments, the same tournaments. They've met each other. It'll be the 3rd time they've met. Yeah. That's extraordinary.
It is. Sometimes, you know, you're looking at the draws around the world, and very often, you know, players are paired up in same groupings, and I don't know how it's happening. I have no understanding in this computer and how it works, but you often see that.
Yeah. Now, that is the magnificent trophy, the design based on the Canton Tower, and of course the World Tour finals in Guangzhou at the end of the year, where those trophies will be presented to all the winners. So it'll be the top 8 in each of the 5 disciplines who qualify for the World Tour finals in Guangzhou. And I say the top 8, it won't be necessarily the top 8, because the reigning world champions will get invited, as we've just been discussing.
So it's for sure the top 7.
Yeah. Let's look ahead a little bit, Morten, to our 2 matches time, when the French pair of Lefel and Tron, they of course were European Championship silver medalists last year, bronze medalists at the European Games in Minsk earlier this year in Belarus. Isn't it lovely to see home players doing well at the French Open? Because the French Open, before it became a Super Series event, of course they had Pi Hongyan, but she had been born and raised and learned her badminton in China.
Yeah.
So now that there's some home players, born and bred players coming through in the French Open, that's wonderful, isn't it?
It is, and when you look at how French badminton is developing, you have to be impressed, because at junior level they're doing really well. And of course Christophe Poppa went on to win a silver medal at the World Junior Championship just a few weeks ago.
First ever medalist, I think, from France at the World Junior Championship.
Absolutely, yeah. Yes. But they have a good team, and the team also did really well in the team events.
Yeah.
So, yeah, France is definitely coming up. They're doing well.
Yes, and he has another year left in junior badminton, doesn't he? Could still pop
That
off.
I'm not sure of.
Yes, he does, indeed. So that's tremendous for the host nation here. Looking around the arena as we speak, there's a couple of Danes. I know you've got your eye on the Danes because Anders Antonsson, who won the Indonesian Masters 500 event, is in a very close battle with Kento and Nishimoto. Nishimoto, incidentally, was a former finalist here at the French Open 2 years ago, got through to the final as a qualifier. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I actually do. I actually do.
And the 2012 beaten finalist, Victor Axelsen, he's engaged in a huge battle at the moment. He's leading 11-9 in the third and final game against Kanta Tsuneyama of Japan.
It's a very, very close contest.
And do you remember that was, I think, Axelsen's first ever Super Series tournament final?
Yeah, he lost to
Darren Liu.
Darren Liu of Malaysia.
And he went straight from Paris to the World Junior Championships
That's
in
correct.
Chiba.
That's
And he
correct.
was late arriving in Chiba. So this is where it all started for Axelsen, and all Danish fans, I'm pretty certain, will be rooting for them. And there are plenty of Danish fans here in Paris. But here come our players for our next match of the day. It is the reigning world champion PUSARLA Sindhu up against YEO Jia Min of Singapore. We'll keep you abreast of what's happening in the men's singles now that we've just dangled that tantalising carrot of what's going on elsewhere. We will promise to keep you informed. So, the very tall athlete, PUSARLA Sindhu. This will be a first meeting between these two players. I'm not altogether surprised because YEO Jia Min has been playing a different level of tournament, but since she reached the quarterfinal of the World Championships, she's been playing the World Tour events, and it's wonderful to see her at these World Tours. Never been to a quarterfinal at a Super 500 or above level, the Singaporean, whereas PUSARLA Sindhu has been in 4 World Tour tournament finals, winning just the ones though. 24 years of age, born in Secunderabad, North Hyderabad, and as you can see, she's number 6 on the world ranking. Has been as high as to a total of 11 weeks at number 2 in the world ranking. This is her 7th consecutive appearance here at the French Open. She was a semi-finalist here 2 years ago, quarter-finalist last year. And as you can see, she beat Michelle Lee, who's been in great form, the Canadian. Of late, beat her in 2 straight games, 43 minutes for that victory, 21-15, 21-13. So to her opponent, who's only 20 years of age, represents Singapore. Both her parents are from Malaysia. She went up 2 places in the world ranking this week to a career high of 26, making her first appearance here. And she's been in 1 final this year. She won the Hyderabad Super 100 event, beating Ansi Young in the final in the Indian city of Hyderabad. And we, of course, saw Ansi Young in our first match of the day. Beat Sonia Chia of Malaysia in her first round, 21-15, 21-16 in 37 minutes. Well, that World Championship victory in the second round, the last 32 against Akane Yamaguchi, sent shockwaves through the World Championships in Basel, one of the biggest upsets in recent times. So our umpire, Kang from Korea, and service judge Fabio Beto from Italy. Well, for PUSARLA V Sindhu of the top tier of World Tour tournaments. She's contested the only level 1 event, which is the World Tour final. She won that at the end of last year. And she's been in one Super 1000 final. That was the Indonesian Open earlier this year. 2 finals at Super 500 level. So this 750 level is the only tier of the top tiers that she hasn't reached a final of.
Let's see if she can do it this time. And
Yeah.
let's see.
Yeah,
It's early days.
absolutely.
Low ball. Play.
So YEO Jia Min of Singapore getting this second round match underway against the reigning world champion PUSARLA V Sindhu.
Sub-server. 1 love.
Morten, did you notice who won the toss?
No,
No.
I have to admit I did not.
No.
I have noticed there's a slight drift, and YEO Jia Min is playing with the drift. She's playing the faster end.
Challenge called in.
Well, I'm very surprised at 1 love in the match that PUSARLA is challenging a call. She must be pretty certain, surely. It was called in. She's just showing the line judge where it landed.
That doesn't help now.
No,
That's not going to help.
no, it's Hawkeye that will make the decision. Here we go. What does Hawkeye say? What a great
Break down
challenge.
2 love. Play. Love.
And it's been a very good start for the world champion.
Yeah, YEO Jia Min really have to watch out. It's not going to be one-way traffic now. It's heavy conditions to play in this stadium, and she's under a lot of pressure in the deep corners like this, and she's got to respond properly to it. And as you can see, she is in really big trouble as she can't really get out of the pressure from PV Sindhu.
It's a super angle.
Yeah, YEO Jia Min did really well in this rally. Again, under a lot of pressure on the back of the court, but I think she actually responded well to the pressure.
Well, do you think that the psychology maybe changes as well after her wonderful result at the World Championships, this young lady from Singapore? Do you think that prior to that, nobody ever expected her to do anything?
No, that's true.
And then now she's playing the higher tier of tournaments, perhaps not getting through, so she's not used to winning in the same way when you play lower grade tournaments.
Yeah, I think you have a point, but I also think that the good result at the World Championship also proved to her that it's actually possible.
Yeah.
And you know, that's probably the first step of the way, is to prove that, you know, it's actually possible for me to do so. So I think it's still got a very positive effect on her.
8-1.
And I know it's never been said or written about, not said because we have said it, but when she beat
Play on.
Akane Yamaguchi, she was not at her best, in all honesty.
No,
At that.
Yamaguchi wasn't. She was.
Yeah.
She had a back injury
But she really soldiered on and did the best she could under the circumstances.
and refused to say that the injury was a cause
Absolutely.
of, which was very sporting.
Yeah.
Very sporting. Oh, what a beautiful shot. Great skill
Sub
from
server.
YEO Jia Min.
2-8.
Well, as we look at that again, there's a huge draw in Stade Pierre de Coubertin. And I can tell you the former finalist, Victor Axelsen, has come through against Suniyama, 21-15 in the deciding game.
Sub server. 9-2.
Il vient de faire jouer le match qui se termine à l'instant sur le terrain numéro 3, avec la victoire du Danois. C'était effectivement Kenta Tsuneya qui va rester à ce stade de la compétition ici sur le 8e. On retrouve en quart de finale demain avec beaucoup de plaisir le Danois Victor Axelsen.
Oh, it's just long.
Sub server.
Missed opportunity there from
3-9.
PV Sindhu, as she's better known in her home country.
But it was a good shot. I liked that she was trying to play that kind of delayed shot on it.
Yeah.
She was unlucky it was going out on the back line, but I like that she's playing with more deception.
Sub server. 10-3. Sub server. 4-10.
Well left,
Sub
and a
server.
7-point
11-4
advantage
interval.
for PUSARLA Venkata Sindhu here at the mid-game interval. Eight minutes into the match. Coach Park Tae-sang has been working with PV Sindhu since Kim Ji-jun's departure from India. Yeah, it's good judgment. Morten, you described the conditions as heavy.
Yes.
Who's that going to suit more in general terms, not necessarily this match, in general terms, the runners more or the...
Yeah, it's definitely going to favour the runners, the
Yeah.
retrievers.
Yep.
Of course, you still need to be able to play good pressure shots back on pressure shots. And I think that's where the problem maybe arises for YEO Jia Min, because she might find it difficult when she's really pushed in the deep corners to be able to play proper pressure shots because it's very slow.
Yeah.
Service over. 5-11.
Well, we saw a wonderful men's singles just before,
Yeah.
and both the players could reply with pressure shots. And that's when you created this fantastic match.
Yeah. Oh, my
That's
goodness.
it.
Yeah, she touched it.
6.
That's a
11.
great spot by the umpire.
It was. I'm impressed.
Very good umpiring.
I am impressed that she saw that.
Yeah, because it wasn't much of a deflection.
Nope.
Oh, yes. Super angle.
Service over. 12-6.
Oh, my goodness me.
She is a player on a mission today.
Yeah.
13-6.
That's for sure.
This is the sort of form that took Sindhu to the gold medal in Basel at the World Championships. Yeah. Playing well at the moment.
15-6.
Sindhu, look at that retrieving shot. That was extraordinary. That's wide. Okay for length, but wide of the
16-6.
singles court. Oh, that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Wonderful placement on that occasion from YEO Jia Min.
7-16.
But going back to the question you asked me, who will it favour? I think it also favours, you know, of course, the retrieving players, but also the very fit players.
Yeah.
It's going to favour these conditions.
Service over. 17-7.
Always challenge here
YEO
from
Jia
YEO
Min
Jia Min.
challenge called in.
Yeah, this time I won't guess because I couldn't see it. Sindhu was in the way for the shot, so I couldn't see
Yeah.
whether that was where he was landing.
No, it's plumb on the line.
Challenge unsuccessful. One challenge remaining.
Well done, line judge.
18-7. Play. Service over. 8-18.
It's gone wide.
9-18. Play on. Sindhu, get ready.
Oh, it's well judged. Just long of the back line.
Service over.
2 points away from the opening game.
But somehow I still sense that YEO Jia Min is kind of getting used to the pace and pressure and giving more resistance now. The rallies, the quality in the rallies is much better. Score is still not looking good, but I think the quality of the game is getting better.
Yeah, and there's another indication.
Service over. 10-19. Service over.
Game point
20,
opportunities.
Game point 10.
Couple of fistfuls. Opening game to the reigning world champion PUSARLA V Sindhu.
21-10.
21-10 confirms the umpire. All happening in double quick time, just 15 minutes for that opening game.
就忘记了要管了，我们像这件事之前一定要起来嘛，对不对？他放过就好，然后打不好，是冠军吗？我们送他这个连贯的是冠，一拍一拍来一拍一拍来，看看这样子放节奏，打起来打起来打起来再来，有机会你引入position，哎呀，你 not 引入position，你 not 你做你准备好，如果你 not 就要准备好，对不对？准备好，你看你不用抽离他嘛，抽离他连贯是放过，大家知道这个放远了，放远了。especially 他掉，你让我去接，我去接。如果你被撞，你就要跳高，这个要清楚，因为在里面掉乱，对的，要相信自己啊。
Lots of information there from the Singapore coach. There's no doubting the racket skills of YEO Jia Min. She's got lovely racket skills and she
20 seconds.
looks a good athlete too.
20
But
seconds.
Morton, as this second game is about to get underway, not only what has the Singaporean got to do to
Second
turn this
game.
match around,
Love
also what she
ball.
needs to improve on for long-term potential.
She needs to raise the pace in her game still. I think because she's such a young player, she's good to follow pace of what the opponent is giving her.
One love.
But I still think she finds it very difficult to go in and control the pace herself, which is obviously a big factor as when you're growing up and becoming let's say a world star. It takes, you need to be able to control.
Yeah.
Furthermore, I think it's all about her anticipation as well. Needs to get a little bit better. On a few occasions we've seen the same pattern from Sindhu, but still YEO Jia Min is getting caught on the same kind of shots, and that should not happen. She should learn from it and then say, okay, next time this is happening, I'm there.
Yeah.
So there are still things, but she's still very young and she's very new to the world circuit.
Yeah.
And it's a great prospect for Singapore, I think, and she can do well for them in the future.
Yeah.
And if we just look at the first match, she beat Sonia Cha, as I remember.
That's right.
In 2 straight games. And, SEA Games, Southeast Asian Games, is very important in that region. And that couldn't have been, a possible medal we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Depending on how many women's singles players is coming from Thailand.
Love.
Another great start to the game. Had a great start in the opening game. She went to 6-love, now 4-love in the second game. Sindhu. Oh, that's magnificent. What a great handle game.
And this is one of the shots where I think that, you know, YEO Jia Min should have learned a little bit, because when she's lifting cross-court, this is cross-court lift. She's opening up for that cross coming back, and it has happened on many occasions in the first game as well. Instead of lifting cross-court, she must lift straight down the line. But, you know, it takes time. Rome was not built in one day.
6-love.
Well, this is the same scoreline as she raced to in the opening game. 6-love advantage. Oh, yes. A little hold and flick.
Yeah, really well played.
Love.
Yeah.
Very nicely played by Sindhu.
No, overdone it this time.
Serve over.
So what does
1-7.
the youngster and a player like YEO Jia Min do in a match situation like this? She's already lost the opening game. She's 1-7 down now in the second. Does she just focus on trying to win as many points as she possibly can? First ever meeting between them, so she's never played against Sindhu before. What's her philosophy? What should she be thinking about?
It's all about learning.
8-1.
It's the learning curve. Play, as you say, try to get as many points on the scoreboard as possible. Learn from it. Now she knows there's a strong attack coming from that around the head situation from Sindhu. Okay, that must be noted. So, okay, how am I going to counter that in the future?
2-8.
I think perhaps rather than trying to play a lot towards the back line, I would have played much more what I would call into the court, these long nets and all that, in order to upset the situation a bit and try to play on the front court as much as possible with
3-8.
Sindhu, if it's possible. But
Yeah.
it's not been tested.
No. No,
Yeah,
I
yeah, Jia Min.
can't remember a net exchange, actually.
So, so that would be something. But you know, you're up against the world champion. You're up against someone who's won so many medals at various events that you know you can hardly count them these days.
No.
And I think that Sindhu is showing, as you actually said, she's back in business.
Yeah.
I think she's showing okay, inverted commas, the honeymoon is over. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do my best. I think she's prepared.
Yeah. Oh, yes, that's lovely. Well, just to emphasise your point about the number of medals you can hardly count, I have counted her World Championship medals, 5 of them.
5 of them, yes.
To be precise. But what's so astonishing is that not only has she been in 3 consecutive World Championship finals, all Indian players throughout the World Championships have won a total of 10 medals. So she's won 50% of all India's medals at World Championships in the sport of badminton.
Yes.
Serve
And of course the Olympic silver in 2016.
2 Commonwealth Games individual medals, silver and a bronze. Asian Games silver. Bronze at Asia Championships.
Yeah, she's been a very, very fine representative for Indian badminton. And I must say, personally, I do enjoy watching her play because she's putting so much into it, and when she's really there, I think that she can play some awesome badminton.
11-5, interval.
So it's a handsome lead, a 6-point advantage here in the second game for the number 5 seed from India.
À la pause, il faut que je te refaire à l'intérieur.
En apportant une belle animation proposée de découvrir sur les écrans, ça se passe avec Yonex, une animation qui va démarrer dans 2 minutes.
11-5.
So 11-5 the advantage, having already won the opening game, 21-10.
Grosse animation en perspective. C'est un concept qui vous est proposé de un partenaire titre Yonex. Vous pouvez en profiter, aucun problème. Quelques minutes seulement pour traverser le côté de la plate zone. Ça va démarrer à 17h40.
Yeah, that's a lovely shot. And the good thing is that it's not opening up the court for YEO Jia Min, which means that when she's not playing it cross court, she hasn't got to run the full diagonal and all that. So that was really a lovely shot and kept wonderful control.
Oh my goodness me.
7-11.
But that's nice to see that that area is tested now.
Came off the frame of her racket.
They did.
Oh, that's a nice block. Just missed it. Well, well, well.
And once again, if we're really kind of going deep into it, I think that YEO Jia Min chose very, very wisely. When she was playing the clear, that clear we saw there was played with a lot of height. It's what we call a defensive clear, and that bought her a lot of time to get back into position. That was, again, a good choice by her. But that's going quite deep into it.
Yeah, that's all right. I like to hear that. I like the big tactics.
Vous pouvez applaudir la tête de série numéro 2 qui malheureusement la route suivante. Les Indonésiens Mohamed Assa et Endra Setiawan.
Oh, yes. So difficult to put the shuttle away, isn't it?
It is. There's no doubt that not for YEO Jia Min, but for a lot of the attacking players, it's a tricky place to play.
Yeah. Found the back line.
14-8.
That one's gone wide. We had quite a pronounced sideways drift last week, but I haven't really detected anything here.
No, I haven't seen anything either. As I say, we're talking about an inch, perhaps, lengthwise. This is not a lot. That's good play by Sindhu. The net exchange, that spinning net shot from Sindhu was really well, but of course an even better response there from Jia Min.
Again, there was a little hold and fake from Sindhu that forced the Singaporean to play the backhand from deep in court. That's clever play from the world champion.
Well, one of the differences for PV Sindhu in her game is the fact that she plays more at the net today than she did a few years ago. A few years ago, she would push everything away from the net, as what we just saw, that, you know, the shot that you praised. I agree with you completely, but that would be her favorite shot. What is against her DNA is actually to play these spinning net shots, and she's doing that a lot more than what she used to do in the past.
Yeah.
And that is why her game has developed quite nicely, I think.
Yeah. We're just 3 points away from a third consecutive quarter-final here at the French Open for PUSARLA V Sindhu. Oh, that's a nice smash. Injection of pace there.
10-18.
Overdone it.
Yeah, Sindhu is rushing it a bit at the moment. She wants it over with. You can see that, and she's taking a few chances here.
Oh, yes. Is that the first use of the body smash
11.
so far from Sindhu? I certainly don't recall many
I think
others.
you might be right.
Yeah. Nicely done, though.
It's a nice variation again.
Wow.
That was quick.
That was very quick. What a way to bring up match point opportunities. Not this time.
Sub-server. 12-20.
Oh, not the second time either.
13-20.
What a lovely drop shot from YEO Jia Min. Beautiful. Way in front of that service line, front service line. Indication of how tight it is to the net. Oh, they'll have to play a net.
Net.
Shuttle coming on from the adjoining court where the defending champions in the men's doubles, Han Chen Kai and Zhao Haodong.
They just want to say hi.
They do indeed. Won the final last year.
Yeah, what a performance it was.
Yeah. So will it be third time lucky for PUSARLA V Sindhu? third match point opportunity. Indeed, converts. Third time of asking and beats YEO Jia Min of Singapore. 21-10, 21-13, the scoreline. And for PUSARLA Venkata Sindhu, tomorrow she will contest a third consecutive quarter-final here at the French Open. Of course, 2 years ago, she went on to reach the semi-final stage. This is the final rally. And the victory for the world champion. 21-10, 21-13 in 34 minutes.